up YouTube? Altu here from epicaesthetics.com, and I wanted to start a new segment today on my channel called Critical Thinking. What I wanted to do was explore a topic maybe each week or maybe every 10 days on a topic that often people talk about in terms of black or white, and they very often fail to understand that there's very different shades of grey along the spectrum. So it's not just white or black, you know, there are possibilities in between. And I think there's no better subject to start that on, no better topic to start on as clean eating. So I want to discuss the possibility of clean eating being potentially unhealthy. Now, you might be watching this now thinking, fuck off, clean eating is healthy, should be the only way we should be eating, and you should be removing everything else out of your diet. I want to explore potentially why that's both right and wrong, and how people can interpret it, or even just make you think of new possibilities. Sometimes there is no right and wrong, and I believe this is actually one of those topics. So what I want to do is start from the extremes. Now, the extremes exist to me on a scale of people who will only eat what their interpretation is of clean foods. And then there's the other extreme where, you know, maybe the IIFYMers, if it fits your macros, who maybe eat junk all day as long as it hits their macronutrients. Now, I think we should start at this end of the extreme, because I do actually think there aren't many people who believe that they can eat anything they want as long as it hits their macronutrient targets, at least from a health perspective. Yes, the biggest cause of health problems in this world is obesity, and if you do stick within your macronutrient targets, you're going to pretty much avoid obesity. So if you're very meticulous about tracking your macros and hitting those targets every day, regardless of what food you take in, it's going to be very hard for you to put on body fat, especially if you're on maintenance calories or maintenance macronutrients. One thing you will be avoiding though, which is important for health and quality of life, are micronutrients, your vitamins, your minerals and things like that. So that's one extreme, where people think you can eat Pop-Tarts, junk food all day long and still be healthy. You're covering most bases for health by hitting maintenance calories and macronutrients, optimal macronutrients, but you are leaving room for health problems when you're deficient in micronutrients. So let's head on over to the other end, which is the clean eater. Now, the problem with the definition of clean eating is there is no definition. That is the problem right there. There's no universal meaning that everyone has agreed on for clean eating. You know, back in the day, it used to be low fat used to be clean eating. So, you know, we used to avoid saturated fats and things like that. More recently, it's become carbs who have become the enemy. So, you know, sugars, you know, high fructose corn syrup, all these kind of things are now considered non-clean or dirty foods. Now, this is also potentially unhealthy. Now, to remove all of these things from your diet, what can actually happen? Or to only use certain foods, you know, like, you know, sometimes you can count on one hand what clean eaters are eating within their diet, especially from the world I'm from, which is the competitive world. So, you know, you hear of bikini models, or see them literally eating only fish and asparagus for every single meal. And, you know, I don't want to stereotype, because there's male bodybuilders who I know who also only eat chicken and broccoli in the last few weeks exclusively. So that's all they eat all day long. Now, the problem with having this tiny variety of foods. You know, it's so restricted. The problem here is that you're also going to have the same trouble that the if it fits your macros person is going to have. You're going to be lacking in micronutrients, vitamins and minerals. So, you know, if you're sticking to one meat source for protein, guess what? You're not going to get the entire spectrum of amino acids, and you're only going to get the micronutrients that source of protein has to offer. So, you know, I've heard of bikini models only eating fish and asparagus, you know, exclusively. That's meals 1 through to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is purely white fish and asparagus. Now, all you're going to get from that is the micronutrients that fish has to offer you, and the micronutrients that the asparagus has to offer you. But where are the rest of the colours of the rainbow in terms of vegetables and fruits? You know, because they're going to be offering you many more micronutrients, phytochemicals, phytonutrients, things like that. So by doing that, by restricting your diet so much, you're also being unhealthy. So both extremes are unhealthy. The extreme clean eater is just as unhealthy as the if it fits your macros person who's misinterpreted that diet to mean I can eat as much junk food as I want as long as it fits my macronutrients and my calories. You're both just as unhealthy as each other. Now, the person in the middle is probably the person who is the healthiest, both physiologically and psychologically. And psychologically is often neglected in terms of when a diet is prescribed. Now, when you're in the middle, you don't really look at foods as being good or bad. You don't put morals on food. I find this quite disturbing that people will call one food bad and another food good. You know, that's kind of strange to me. Don't give food that much power. Food is food. So there's not one food that's going to make or break your health. You know, people will always put up memes of McDonald's and Burger King and how bad they are for you, and well, I think everyone on this planet with half a brain cell knows that if you're eating McDonald's on a daily basis, you know, really regularly, yes, that's not going to be great for your health. But I think on the other hand, everyone knows that having McDonald's once, you know, in a blue moon is not the end of the world. And you can maintain optimum health by including McDonald's in your diet, by including Burger King in your diet, by including Wendy's in your diet. You can have whatever you want, but don't interpret it to mean you can have as much junk food as you want as long as you hit your macronutrient targets. And then on the other side, that's going to liberate you greatly. If you're from the clean eating end of the spectrum, and you're saying, you can't eat this, no, it's only certain foods you can eat, chicken, broccoli, asparagus, white fish, blah, blah, blah. You know, you can relax a little bit more. You can include McDonald's in your diet if you want it, once a week, once every 2 weeks. When you feel like it, you know, you get a craving for it, have it. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to make you a bad person, which I think we, as an industry, you know, we post things in the name of fitspiration and make people feel bad about food. There's nothing to feel bad about. It's food. Don't give it that much power. I hope this short segment has outlined to you, in a more common sense way, how you potentially could and should be eating. There are more important things in life than food. Obviously, there's not much more important than your health. But at the same time, if you're an extreme clean eater, you're being very unhealthy and you're compromising your health. If you're eating a load of junk food and a bunch of nutrient-dense foods all day, that's also bad for your health. Sit in the middle, don't give food so much power, there's more to life. You can stay healthy as long as you make there's always the 80-20 rule thrown about. It doesn't have to necessarily be 80%, 20%, but 80-20 is a good rule to stick by. Have most of your foods come from nutrient-dense sources, and then with the other 20%, 30% even, just play around with it. There's no universal percentage that your diet should fulfill. Just live life, eat good food. When you feel like eating something that is considered bad, don't feel bad about it, because there's no such thing as a bad food. I'd encourage you to critical think in every aspect of your life, and hopefully we can discuss another topic if you enjoyed this segment. Give me some feedback below. Share this video if you think it will help people, and let me know what topics you want to discuss next in the comment section below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and like my Facebook page. You'll see all the links in the description below. Thank you very much, and I will catch you next time. Take care.